Hello and welcome to Coffee Chats. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Sarah, and this is our discussion of The Heir by Kiera Cass.
This video is going to have spoilers for the Selection series and for The Heir. So yeah, if you haven't read those, I don't recommend you watch this. Sorry, bye. But if you have read The Heir, we would really like to just discuss our ideas with you. So here we go. So The Heir follows Princess Edlin, who is the daughter of Maxon and America from the Selection series, and you kind of see her life as she goes about her own selection, and it's also quite fun to see America and Maxon all grown up.
In this book, they're doing the selection not so much because Edlin wants a husband, because she really does not want a husband, but because there's a lot of unrest amongst the citizens, because although they have gotten rid of the caste system, there is still a lot of prejudice left over because of it. So they're doing this as a sort of distraction to keep the public happy.
So I think I speak for both of us when we say that this we actually preferred to any of the Selection books. I found it to be way more interesting. A problem that we have with the Selection books is that America is an annoying character. Her flaws kind of take over, and she's whiny and does not make logical decisions. And Edlin is slightly better. She's still annoying. She's a brat. That's the big thing with Edlin. She's a total brat. But she's much more tolerable because I found that this book focuses less on her whining and her problems and looks more at her world and the castle and how the selection is running.
Yeah, it seems like there's more going on, so you spend less time focusing on her.
Which is better. Definitely better. Less whining time is a good thing.
I definitely think the problem with the protagonists of these books is, they're pretty much perfect except for their one flaw, which is so harped on over and over again. America is just really annoying, and she was really kind of paranoid about what everybody else was doing, and she needed a lot of attention and focus dedicated to her. And then Edlin is just, she's really spoiled, and she doesn't, I understand where she's coming from, she needs to be a strong, powerful woman so people respect her, but she does it to such an extreme that nobody likes her.
Mm-hmm. So some of the positives of this book, for me the big one was getting to see the selection from a more objective point of view, from a larger perspective, because the thing in the original Selection series was that America was just one girl who was participating in it, so you really only saw her dates with Maxon and her interactions with the other girls, and it definitely got monotonous for 3 books just to see that over and over and over again. And with Edlin you get to see her planning the selection and how the royal family feels about it, and what all of the boys are going through from her eyes, and that's really cool.
Also, it seemed like in the selection, Maxon was just gone all the time, and we didn't really know why, but this kind of gives you an idea of what he was doing and what Edlin does on a daily basis, which is a lot. One thing that I really like about these is they're kind of like candy. They're not the best written, the plots aren't that complex, but once I started, I don't want to stop. I just want to lay in bed and read them all day. They're just easy and very simple, and there's something addictive about them.
Now, I couldn't watch a TV show of adaptation of this. I think I would get so sick of it, but for what it is, the book, the length it is, it's perfect. It works.
Yeah. The thing I didn't love so much about this was the plot was a little bit disjointed in a way. It didn't seem like there was a whole lot of build up to the way it ended. I thought her mom having a heart attack was really strange, especially since she's not gonna die.
Yeah. She wouldn't kill America.
No. So our camera cut out, so we're filming on my phone now, so if the frame looks different, that's why.
It probably is different.
Yeah.
Okay, so for a couple more negatives that we had with the book, one thing that I noticed that I just felt was such a big thing, Edlin was a brat, but she didn't get on my nerves too much. It was okay. It didn't bother me a ton. But one thing that she just took overboard was the way she treated Kyle's little sister. And I can't remember her name right now.
It was Jody?
Maybe
Josie? Something
along those lines. It was crazy. She was horrible to her. And I could see where she was coming from. She was a little bit annoying. But in reality, she was just acting like a little sister, like a preteen would. She didn't do anything particularly offensive, like...
The only thought I had was, like, Edlin's thing is she wants to be seen as a strong woman, and I feel like Jody's, whatever her name is, like, her kind of, like, little girl thing is something that Edlin never got, so that's why she doesn't like her so much, but still, it was like, she was just mean to her all the time. Okay, so this is a really weird, kind of minor thing that I noticed really early on in the book, and then kind of followed it. She uses the word giggles, like, instead of laughing, pretty much 9 out of 10 times. Like, there'd be political leaders giggling. It was just weird. Like, if you're gonna read it again, just look for that. It might start bothering you, too.
Because it's not a strong action word.
No.
Like, little girls giggle. And I could see Edlin giggling if she was in a romantic situation, which she did sometimes, but just using giggle all the time is a little silly, a little unnecessary.
That's just a little bit like nitpicky, like writer thing, but it did start to bother me eventually.
So one thing that Sarah and I picked up on when we were just talking about this book with each other is that for the first time ever, like, Sarah and I pretty much always have the same opinion when it comes to love interests, but also you had a lot more boy options in this book, and usually it's a love triangle situation where one is just obviously better. But anyway, Sarah and I had different favorites in this book, and I don't know, we're both going to talk about why we had favorite boys in this book. So, my personal favorite was Kyle, which isn't really that surprising to me. I'm a really big sucker for the whole, like, we've known each other our whole lives thing, and we used to not get along, and now we're falling in love. Like, that just does it for me for some reason. It's great, and I love it every time. Like, the romance in Rebel Belle, if you happen to have read that, it's kind of along those lines, and it's perfect. Like, I love romances like that. So, I loved her moments with Kyle. I thought that it was very sweet, and I really think that Kyle is who she's going to end up with. Like, I'd love to hear what y'all think, if you have the same opinion as we do, or different opinions even. My personal bet is Kyle is who she will end up with, because Kyle has his architecture thing, and even though he wants to get away from the castle, the architecture thing lends itself so well to him, like, being king, but going out and doing community service and helping the housing for the poor people. Like, it's a great concept, and he's my favorite guy, and I think that he will be the winner in the end.
My personal favorite is actually not in the selection, it's Eric, and he's the translator for Henry. I did really like Kyle. I thought he was nice, and I think if she chooses of the selection boys, it will be Kyle. But I think the interesting thing with Eric would be that she would have to fight to be with him, which would really prove to the public that she loves him, because that's one of their big issues with her, is they feel like it's very forced. So, like, I feel like with Kyle, it would seem like it could just be, like, a political alliance kind of thing, but if she was going to be with Eric, she would have to, like, probably kind of go against the rules to be with him, so it would prove that she cares about him. Also, I just think it would be cute, because he didn't think he was special enough to be in the selection, and then she would pick him. So,
my personal take on Eric was, I only ever saw he and Edlin as, like, a friendship, but I really thought he was going to come out as gay. Like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what gave me the vibe. Like, there was never a...
He seemed a little bit gay to me, too.
He really liked Henry a lot. So I thought that could maybe mean that he was gay. And I don't know. I feel like it's very common at this point for YA books to have, like, LGBT side characters. And he would fulfill that role very well. So I really thought it was going to happen. I still think that there's maybe a chance that it will. So, I mean, just saying, if he's gay, I called it.
I'm still voting for Edlin to be asexual, but I don't think that's clearly not going to happen. I'm kind of bummed, to be completely honest.
We just want our minority sexualities to be represented.
I get really annoyed with book romances. I think we should really just have, like, a push of asexual characters. It's just, that's something that I would enjoy, I think.
Thank you guys so much for watching our Heir discussion video. We would love to hear your thoughts on the Heir, because we had a lot of opinions on it. Yeah. And some differing opinions, which is really strange. We always have the same opinions. Anyway, we had a great time filming it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys soon. Bye!